Welcome to this training session on configuring business object types. First, we're going to take a look at the business object type foundations, then structure and design rules, then the course use case, how to create the business object type, how to configure fields, groups and collections, and then I'll summarize everything. Let's start with the business object type foundations. So what is a business object type? The simplest way to think about it is a smart digital record, like a structured form that defines exactly what information you capture and how it's organized. In the OPUS Solution Environment, it's the core data model behind every solution. There are three ideas I really want you to hold on to here. First, it has a defined structure, exactly what goes on the form, and how the parts relate. We call that its schema. Second, it stays the same everywhere it's used, so one definition applies across every solution. And third, it's built to connect, meaning it links to other records to mirror how your business actually works. For example, product complaint is a business object type. It's a smart digital record for capturing and managing a product complaint. It has fields such as category and complaint source to capture individual values. It has groups such as product quality group to keep related complaint details together. It has field collections such as attachments where the same type of value can be repeated. And it has group collections such as product information where a full set of related fields can be repeated. So product complaint is not just a form, it's a structured data model that tells the system what complaint information to capture, how to organize it, and how to reuse it consistently. Now, why does this matter beyond just the mechanics? Because each business object type carries its own schema, its own lifecycle, and its own logic. It becomes the foundation for every structured application you build in Opus. I like to boil it down to three words. Store, it gives your business data a reliable, structured home. Exchange, it's a shared definition that moves cleanly between partners. It's the backbone that your workflows and your automation act on. Get the business object type right, and everything you build on top of it gets easier. Now on to structure and design rules. There are four kinds of building blocks. A field is a single blank on that form. It holds one value, like an incident ID. A group is a section of related blanks shown together, like an address block. A field collection is a blank you can add more of, many values of one type, like a list of reference numbers. And a group collection is a whole section you can repeat, many sets of related blanks, like multiple resolution actions. Here's the pattern I want you to remember. One value, use a field. Related fields, use a group. Many of one value, use a field collection. And many sets of fields, use a group collection. Everything we build for the rest of today maps right back to these four. Here's an important habit I want you to build. Before you add a new blank to the form, always check whether one already exists. First, look at the fields that came built in from the template, the base fields, and ask whether one of them already gives you what you need. Then, check the fields already on your record, the subfields. Only when nothing existing fits should you go ahead and create something new. This one simple discipline prevents duplicate, confusing setup, and it keeps your records lean and easy to maintain across every solution that uses it. There are two things that I need you to remember before you start adding fields. First, you can add, but you can't undo. Once you add a field and save it, you can't delete it, and you can't rename it. That's why it's important to complete your modeling exercise first. Before you add anything, take time to identify the data the custom solution needs to capture, the fields required to support that data, the field names, the field types, and whether each field should be auditable, searchable, or reportable. You can always add more fields later, but you can never take fields away, so plan carefully before you save. Second, there are four field types you must never use in a company sub. Workflow, lookup by relationship, version file attachment, and process status. Now onto the use case. Picture the incidents that come up between a company and its partners, things like quality issues, delivery problems, or documentation gaps. Today, these often live scattered across emails, chat messages, and phone calls, where they're hard to track and easy to lose. What we want instead is to capture it all in one smart record, structured, searchable, and auditable. And that's exactly what we're going to build together. An incident management business object type, created as a company sub on the work item base. It inherits everything the base already gives us, and then we extend it with the incident-specific details we need. Keep this picture in your mind, because we'll come back to it again and again. Now we're going to create the business object type. When we create our business object type, a handful of setup values really matter. The name is Incident Management, and the display name is Incident Management. The name is the identifier, and the display name is what people actually see in the interface. The application is POET, the base object type is work item, and we'll make sure audited is enabled so we capture a full history of every change. These are the values that set up the build you're about to watch. So here I am in OPUS to create the Incident Management business object type. From the main menu, navigate to OPUS Solution Environment. We'll then go to Available and Business Object Types. Then select Add New and enter the business object type name. Then the display name and the application, in this case it's for POET. Select the base object type. This is a work item. Make sure the audited option is enabled to track any changes. Then save. Let's talk about what the company sub really means. The key idea is that instead of building from scratch, you start from a trusted template, a base object type, and add only what's specific to you. That's a company sub. A few things to remember. It's always created from a base. It can be used in any solution within your company. And its application has to match the base's application. And on identification, the name has to be unique. It isn't versioned. And any change you make takes effect immediately, everywhere it's used. So changes carry real weight here, because they ripple out instantly. The big idea here is inheritance. Starting from a template means your new record automatically gets every field, group, and collection from its base. So you only add what's missing, instead of rebuilding from scratch. And when you do start a new record, you've got 3 options based on how much already exists for you. Create from base, copy, or reuse. Create from base when you're starting fresh on top of a trusted template. Copy when an existing record is close and you want it as a starting point. And reuse when an existing record already fits exactly. Now how to configure fields. Fields are the individual blanks on the form. Each one holds a single piece of data your record captures. Here you can see the fields we're going to add to an incident management, along with the field type for each one and its properties. This is the reference you'll follow during the demos coming up. Notice the different field types we're using, and notice that each of these fields is set to auditable, searchable, and reportable. Note, only marked fields are searchable when they are truly needed for search, because each searchable field adds an index, and too many indexes can impact performance. Let's now take a look at how to add custom fields in OSE. Once again, under Available Business Object Types, locate the business object type you want to add fields to. This is the one that we just created. Click into it, then Edit. In the Fields section, select Add. Enter the field name. In this example, Incident. Then the display name. We're entering Incident ID here. In field type, select the appropriate data type, for example, text, pick list, date, or Boolean. We're going to select text here. We'll set it to auditable. We'll keep searchable disabled, but we'll select reportable. Then we'll enter the desired length of text under maximum length field. For example, 100. Click Apply, then Save. You've now successfully added a new field to a business object type. Let's look at the field properties. Think of each field, as having a few settings that control how its data behaves. The field name is the unique identifier, and remember, you can't change it after you save it. The field display name is the label shown in the interface. The field type is the kind of data, whether that's a string, a number, a date, a pick list, and so on. And then auditable, searchable, and reportable control whether changes are tracked, whether the field can be searched, and whether it shows up in reporting. So these small settings have a big impact on how your data behaves later. I'm now going to show you how to add all 6 incident fields to incident management. First, we're going to add an incident title field. Select Edit. Once again in the field section, select Add. Enter the field name, in this case, incident title. Enter the field display name, incident title. The field type, we'll select text. This will be auditable, not searchable, but reportable. Then once again, set the maximum length to 100 and apply. Now we're going to enter incident type. Once again, a field name, field display name, field type, pick list, auditable, not searchable, and reportable. Pick list values must be entered in JavaScript format, all on a single line. So we'll enter the snippet here. I'm going to enter a value in the default selection. For example, operational incident, then apply. Now I'm going to add a priority field. Field type again is pick list. Auditable, not searchable, reportable. We'll enter the JavaScript snippet here. Then enter a default selection, for example, low, and apply. Now we'll add a status field. Field type again, pick list, auditable, and reportable. Then enter the snippet. Then the default selection. And apply. And finally, a description field. Field type will be text area, auditable, and reportable. We'll set the maximum length to 100 and the number of visible lines to 10. Then apply and save. Now let's take a look at groups and collections. Let's define a field collection. The simplest way to think about it is a repeatable blank, one type of value that you can add multiple times under a single name. Technically, it's an array of one field type. When you create one, you'll set things like the collection name, whether to limit the number of items, and the details and properties of the field inside it. Think of this picture on your screen. Many values all under one attribute. Go to the field collection section now and select Add. We'll enter a collection name. In the Limit Items field, we enter the number of items that can be added to the collection. For example, 3. Then enter the field name. Enter a unique identifier for the field. Then the field display name. Field type. This is text, auditable, and reportable. And set the maximum length to 20. Then select Apply. Now let's define a group. A group is a section of the form that keeps related blanks together, shown side by side in the interface. When you create one, you'll set the group name, the display name, and you can use a base group and a clone action to reuse a standard structure. And then you add fields inside the group. A good example is grouping together the classification details of an incident. Under Groups, select Add. Enter the group name and the display name. Select the base group. We'll select this one and then Apply. Now to add fields inside the group. Select the newly added group row. Click on the hierarchy icon. Enter a field name. Enter the display name. Field type. This is pick list. Auditable and reportable. Then enter the JavaScript snippet. Then a default selection. Select Apply. Then Save. And finally, let's define a group collection. Think of it as a whole section you can repeat multiple sets of related blanks. Technically, it's an array of groups, and it's the most advanced of the 4 building blocks. A good example is capturing multiple resolution actions on a single incident, where each action has the same set of fields. Notice how this differs from a single group, which only captures one set. Let's now take a look at how to create an incident group collection. Under Group Collections, select Add. Enter the collection name, for example, resolution. The collection type, we'll select Table. The limit items, we're going to set this to 5. Then enter the group name, for example, resolution action. The group display name. The base group. We'll select this. Then Apply. Now to add fields inside the group collection. Select the newly added group collection row. Click on the hierarchy icon. Enter the field name and the field display name. Field type. We'll select Boolean. Auditable and reportable. And for the default selection state, we'll select Selected. Then Apply. Then be sure to save. Now I'm going to summarize everything. Here's the finished smart record, our incident management business object type, and I want us to look at how each piece earned its place. As we go through it, notice how every blank, section, and repeatable section ties back to our incident use case. Nothing here is abstract. Every piece is there because the incident record genuinely needed it. Now let's review and use the business object type in Solutions and Pages. To view the added components in a business object type, go to Available Business Object Type. Select the business object type you created. And here you can see the fields, the groups, the field collections, and the group collections you've added. Now to add a business object type to a solution, go to Available and Company Solutions. Select the solution where you want to add the business object type. Select Edit, expand the business object type section, and click on Add. Here you can add the business object type you've created. Then Apply. Then Save. Now how to add a business object type to a page. Go to Solution and Search Pages. Click on Add New and select the business object type here. So let's recap the full journey. We went from understanding what a business object type is, that smart structured record, all the way through to applying the design checks and building one ourselves. And I'll leave you with the golden rules. Always check before you create. Remember that once you save, you can add, but you can't undo. And never use those 4 restricted field types in a company sub. So we looked at the business object type foundations, structure and design rules, a use case, how to create the business object type, how to configure fields, groups and collections, and I finished with a summary. Thank you for watching this training session today on business object types. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to email tracinc@tracinc.com.